All right guys, today is a little bit of a different video because I'm going to go through some of the homework that I'm doing to get ready for the IWI Carbine World Championship this weekend, as well as Rifle World Shoot. Typically I run the G9 75 grain. This is what I'm running for my long range ammo, and that's what I zero my rifle for. However, I run a 55 grain from G9 for all of the rest of the stuff. Now, the upcoming matches have a lot of tight nose shoots, some medium range paper, as well as some long range paper. Now the long range paper, I'm going to be running my heavier ammo, my precision shots, but for all the rest of the paper, I don't necessarily need to run a heavy round. These things cost you $1, $1.50 a round. Good long range ammo is expensive, so we want to figure out what we need to shoot with that and what we don't need to shoot with that, and anything we don't need we'll run the 55s on. But in order to do that on tight no shoot targets, we want to make sure that we know exactly where those 55 grains are landing in relation to the zero that we have set for the 75 grain. So what I have here is we have a 10 yard, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100 yard pasters. I'm going to go back, take a shot, or put a group, of 3 for each one of these as we work back. That way we can see exactly where our line of sight is, and where it meets, and then where it goes as far as a hold over, hold under. So this is figuring out the mechanical offset. Now, this depends on the rifle, the optic, the mount that you're running. Right now I'm running a standard precision mount, which I think is a 153 or 150, whatever, 154, whatever the standard height is. A lot of times I'm running the Badger Ordnance 170 mount, and I just don't have that for this rifle. I have it on my other rifle, and I'm digging this setup right now. I may swap over, but for right now, for the match that we're shooting this weekend, this is what I'm going to be running, so I need to know exactly where that lines up on this target. Let's go ahead and take some shots. All right, I pulled the last shot, so I added another one in there, and we got a very distinct group. Let's go ahead and back it up to 20. All right, so we got a group from 10 yards all the way out to 100 yards. Let's go ahead and check it out and see what the results are. So this is a great opportunity for you to really see what your holds are actually doing. So here at 10 yards, you can see we've got about 2.5 inches of offset. 20 yards, we cut that down to now we're about inch and a half of offset. 30 yards, we're pretty much dead on. This one's a little bit low. 40 yards really is where we're dead on. I'm kind of aiming at the top of the pacer here. So we're pretty much dead on at 40 yards. 50 yards, just a hair high. 60 yards, we're talking about a ½ inch high. This is where I drop down. Actually, I guess at 50 yards where I drop down on the bipod. 70 yards, we're about an inch high. 80 yards, I pulled 2 right here in the 80, and then one up a little bit higher. But my guess would be if we're here at 70, we're probably gonna be right here in between the two at 80. 90, kind of the same deal. 100, I pulled this one off to the left-hand side. But we can see we're about 2 inches high at 100. So between 10 yards and 100 yards, you're talking about 2 inches difference, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is if you only have this much of the target to shoot at. So now we're going to go ahead and run some drills with the tight nose shoots and make sure we're actually getting our hits based off of the distances, and we're going to set up nose shoots at multiple distances to test that. All right, I went ahead and put up a few different nose shoots at different distances. We have a 10-yard nose shoot here. We have a 35-yard nose shoot back there, a 45, and a 25. So going all the way around, we have different distances. We don't want them just progressively more challenging. And this is going to be my cold run for the day. Obviously, I've shot a couple of rounds just to verify those. But this is a cold start, so let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Stand by. All right, now on the 10-yard target, the second shot, I pulled low, I felt it, I called it low, so we got a no shoot on that one. The other one should be pretty clean. We're just gonna reverse it. That was a 987, pretty choppy there. So let's go ahead and reverse it and see what we can do. Stand by. That one was a little bit better. We had a 9.15, not a lot better, but a little bit better. I did make up a shot on that back one because, again, I saw my dot go just over top of it this time. But because I know my holds, I know that's not going to cut it for a 45-yard target. I need to put that dot right in the A zone at 45 yards. Let's go ahead and check the targets now. So as you can see right here, that is the no shoot that I called. That was the second shot of the day. All of these hits are on here, although they're a little bit higher than I like. These three, this is where I want that to end up. That way we're getting those alphas. These are going to end up being Charlie's most likely. One of them might be an alpha, but still a little bit too high there. Now this one is the 45-yard. I called that one shot above. We made it up. As you can see, we got 2 Alpha 2 Charlie there. And coming in the final target, again, 2 Alpha 2 Charlie. Good holds on this, just got a little bit wide on these two. So we gotta clean up the shot some. So if you haven't done this type of homework before to find out exactly where your holds are, not just for long range, which is super important, but also for your lightweight ammo, your 55 grain, inside and outside of your zero distance, it's a really good just knowledge tool to have. It's a good baseline to establish. So make sure you get a chance to go out and try this out. You know, maybe you don't have 100 yards where you can push out. Most ranges you may be able to find 100 yards, but if you only have an indoor range, at least find out where your fluctuation is between that 0 and 25 yards, 50 yards, whatever it is that you can get. That way, no matter where the distance to the, no matter what the distance to the no shoot is, you're able to establish exactly what your gun does under pressure. That way, when you go to the match, you're able to get those hits. So I hope you guys like that. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. And if you do like this kind of longer style training format, be sure to check out the Dry Fire Crew community. That's where I post most of these videos. I wanted to share this one with you guys because we were talking about this, what I'm doing to work up to these matches. But anyway, that's all for today. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll see you on the range.